I'm going to whiz through this now because I'm conscious of time, and I think a lot of you know these things. What's good communication? So, the classic, it's a two-way thing. This happy couple communicating because they're having a good exchange and understand each other, and they know where they are. It's that happiness factor of good comms. Whereas marketeers can sometimes be a little bit too broadcasty, maybe. And let's just shout louder at our audience in order to get the message across, which doesn't work. Those of you that did marketing in kind of an academic level will understand this. And it was some time ago that I was at uni and studied marketing. But the classic thing of right person, right time, right message, and finding the intersection in that middle piece, that's still very valid today. If you're nailing it and getting it, all those three things right, that should be good comms. So what's the right person? Do we know our audiences? Have we really understood who we're trying to talk to and nail that down? And have we communicated this with our teams? It's interesting because sometimes when we go into a new client and we talk about who's your target audience, we can actually have different answers from different members of the team. So make sure that we're communicating that internally. And then really important, and this is going to come up again and again today, about data. So what's our first party data on these audiences? Do we really know them? And how granular do you need to go? Especially in 2026, this granularity is such a key thing these days. And then something to throw into the mix. What if your audience or the person isn't actually a human, but actually a machine? And this gets dismissed by some people saying, oh, well, that's still sci-fi. Is it? I don't think it is. So the right time, again, the classic buying journey, where are they in that buying journey? Are they in awareness or are they in consideration and things like that? But can we identify effectively where they are? Can we infer that position? Because it's really important, because if we don't understand the timing, how do we get our messages right? So what makes it the right time? What is the trigger potentially to make things the right time? And then can we make things the right time? Can we actually influence people so we make that problem seem more painful than it was? So we can actually push them into a timing decision. And then if we do know if it's the right time, where are they? What channel? What platform are they on? With this splintering of channels, B2B and B2C, where are they going to be? So can we find them at that time? And then the messaging, the all-important messaging. Let's think, what do our audiences want to hear? Not what do we want to say, what do they want to hear? And part of that is, do you want to be the painkiller or the vitamin? So it's often better to fix the problem than to try and just improve where people are at the moment. It's a more powerful message. We've got to think about moving people. Marketing's about persuasion. It's no good just communicating. We actually need to change their minds. And then if it's communication, are we making this two-way? How can we listen to people? Making that conversation two-way. And it doesn't always have to be verbal. It can be something which is very much like data signals. So listening to people with data signals. And then I think this is a really big thing for the current situation. How do we cut through the content noise? Because there is so much noise, and we're going to talk about that some more. And also then, if we're talking about the machines, what does the agent want to hear? So we're not going to go too deep on AI agents today, but agents are the future. It's really interesting. And anybody who doesn't, oh no, that doesn't happen. I have an AI agent that books hotels or actually brings me the short list of hotels. So I've got an agent which I can put in a location, a set of dates, and it goes and does all of my research, and it comes back with, this is my recommendation of where you should stay. So it's happening now. So what's different? The landscape of the intelligence era. So you got to think personalized and relevant. It's the base expectation now. Imagine going on to Amazon and having the same Amazon homepage as the several hundred million other people that use Amazon. You're like, oh, what's that? It's not right. I don't need baby wipes. I don't need, I don't know, bird feeders or something like that. It's so personalized. 38% of Amazon sales come from the recommended for you panel. And it's what people expect. It's the base level. And now I would say there is infinite content. And you think, well, hold on, infinite content, Tim? Yeah, people go to a large language model, they go to a chat interface, and they can ask anything. Even on Google, they're getting that AI overview. It's infinite, the answers that they can get, because they can put in a very unique query. So infinite content to choose from. And the algorithms now filter what people see, so you have to work with those kind of AI filters effectively on content. And you're talking to both humans and machines, because it's not just agents, it's algorithms as well as the people, and you've got to be relevant to all of them. But this is interesting. People are looking for more trust. In the age of AI, actually trust and brand strength is becoming increasingly important. And I would say, I think there's micro attention now. It's like 3 seconds. If you haven't hooked them, oh, I'm just going to scroll on. So it's like, it's micro attention moments. And the same thing is happening with B2B. And, it's not just a consumer phenomenon, because people are people. And if they don't have big attention spans, then, that's the problem. And it's not fair. And I say this because some people go, well, we want to spend X, and why don't we see results for X? And it's like, well, the world's not fair. If your 10 competitors are all spending 2X, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere, because the world isn't fair. So let's rise to the challenge, right? Because it's too easy to look at some of those things and go, well, that looks really hard. So if we're rising to the challenge, I like this Henry Ford quote, which is that if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. So if you don't believe in yourself, and you don't think, oh yeah, we can do this, then you won't do it. But if you believe you can, you can. So, just remember that. And to give you a bit of hope, or, feel better about things. So Roger Federer. Has anybody here seen the talk that Roger Federer has given to the graduates at a graduation ceremony? It went quite viral. There's a few nods. Okay. So he's played about 1,500 matches. He's won 1,251 of them, which is 83%. He's won 103 titles, of which 20 of those were major titles, right? So that's an amazing record. You would say he's a brilliant champion. He is a winner. But when you look at the percentage of the points that he won over all of those matches, 54%. So that's right. So he won 83% of his matches. He's won, 100 plus titles, yet he only won 54% of the individual points. The reason why I'm telling you this is you only need to beat your competitors by a bit, by more than average on those points. You just need to score those points a bit more, and you will be a really big winner. So you don't have to outsmart them by 10x. If you're an inch ahead of them, it doesn't matter whether you're an inch or whether you're a meter or whether you're a mile. You're still beating them, and you're still winning the business. So that's really important. Don't be despondent. And then on the humans and machines, we titled this Humans and Machines, not humans versus machines. And there's this thing about, like, if we talk about AI or we talk about agents, it's like a us or them kind of battle. Oh, well, if we bring AI in, then, it's basically, it's harming the people and things like that. It's not like Will Smith trying to find the evil robot. It's not a choice between automation and being human. And this conversation that you have to have about it being a collaborative effort needs to happen on the inside of your organizations as well as your outside. Chris and the team, when they're working with people and they're implementing technology, what we're finding more and more is that we have to help people with actually the people part of the jigsaw, because without the people, you can't actually implement effectively. So what are people great at? Creativity, ideas, but not just that, judgment. We make better judgments because we understand we've grown up in this world, so we can make better judgments about what is going to work. And also as humans, we can build trust, and this is really vital. And we also have ethics, or at least some of us do. I could crack a joke now about certain members of the royal family, but we're being filmed, so I won't. But, you know, humans tend to have really great ethics, right? But machines are great at things. And it's complementary because they're brilliant at consistent repetition. If you said to somebody who's coming in for a job interview, I want you to sit down and every day do the same thing 100 times, but you can't make a mistake, they'll be like, oh, this doesn't seem like a very appealing job. But something like an AI agent loves it. And it will be 100% right because it doesn't get bored, it doesn't get distracted. So consistent and repetition is important. Recognizing patterns and data. So I was talking at an event a few days ago, and a brilliant piece of data I saw was the fact that when a large DIY store used AI to analyze kitchen purchases, so like the whole set of kitchens, so a big ticket item on the purchase, they found a correlation in the data which said that they were most likely to get the sale from people that came in and bought bird food around about a month before. And you think, well, that's a bit weird. And I'm not sure quite what this DIY chain did with the information. But the point being is, it's really good at recognizing patterns. And from that, you can think, well, actually, we've got to make sure that when we sell small things, the customer service is great or the product is great, because that person's quite likely then to come back and buy something else. Or it might be a pattern on the website. Hey, we've just seen, or the AI can identify that they visit certain pages on the website and then they go on to purchase. So machines are great at that pattern recognition. And speed, it's astounding the speed that things can get done now with the technology. It's fantastic. And that gives you also scaling. So this is really important that you can scale. So under the surface of every good message, what is there? Well, there's clean and connected data. This is really important. Silvana knows this. She loves a bit of clean data, don't you? Very good at that. Understanding the audience context. This is really important if you're going to get a good message out there. And then you want intelligent systems that can take the feedback, so that can take data points and actually adapt from what's going on. But you want human-led strategy and judgments, because that's really vital. And what this means is that your website should no longer be static. You know, we use the Amazon example, but it's actually important that everybody's getting a dynamic website. And personalization is not optional, because AI is going to become infrastructure to you. It's going to be as normal as just having a computer. The technology is the technology. It's just another ingredient. And remember that the experience is not singular. It's not just about somebody coming to your web page. They're on a journey. They're trying to discover. They're trying to buy things. And what you need to do is you need to make that whole piece of communication seem effortless. It needs to seem relevant to them. It needs to feel human to them, even if you've got the computers and the technology doing the heavy lifting. So the leadership challenge for you here today, because we're all the leaders, is, are you set up to personalize? Can you do it responsibly? Are your systems enhancing your message, or do you feel that they're diluting it? And your outcomes versus your inputs calculation. So how much resource, time, effort, money you put into things. Are you getting more outputs for that than your competitors? This is the actual thing of beating your competitors. You've got to make sure you're more efficient at turning those inputs into outcomes, not just outputs, outcomes. And so does your technology increase trust? And are your communications actually really manifesting on the brand? But anyway, what's coming next today? Clotilde's about to whiz up and talk about the personalised website. And we've got James talking about the communications in a mobile first world. We've got Chris with actually understanding how the AI can help those communications without losing the humanity. And then we're going to get you guys to actually think about this. What can you do to improve your communications? And then you're going to get an opportunity to ask us all more questions. So before we go on, there is going to be jargon and there is things on about knowledge, and we're not going to try and do a full education piece. But actually, we've got people who have been in the room, who have been on the AI workshop for leaders. And it was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah, there's some nodding. Jasper, yeah, you agree? Yeah. So if you do want to learn more about the mechanics and the implementation and the adoption, it's a big area. I would say go with this.